Hi Sukhanti, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. And what about you?
I'm good too. Thank you for asking. So can you tell us something about yourself?
Sorry, sir.
Yeah, can you tell me something about yourself?
Okay, sir.
Hmm.
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity to talk about myself. My name is Shukanti Bhutia. I'm from Odisha. I have 2.6 years of experience in manual testing and automation testing as a software test engineer. And
Mhm.
coming to my roles and responsibility, I involved in executing all the manual test cases and understood the test cases before starting automation script.
Mhm.
And I involved in writing XPath for dynamic object, and I involved in scroll down operation by using mouse operation. I involved in preparing and executing test script by using WebDriver. I involved in perform scroll down operation by using the JavaScript. That's
Mhm.
all about my roles and responsibility. And coming to my day-to-day work, first I check my mail, and then any ticket is coming or not. After that, I involve in stand-up meetings. Here discuss about what we did yesterday, what we are going to do today, and that's all about. And I execute. I develop the methods. First, I have done my work. Once I
Mhm.
have done my work, I create and execute all the test cases.
Mhm.
Then I post my code in master repository, lead repository. Then now my lead takes the responsibility.
Okay. So you
That's all
mean to
about.
say, yeah, so you mean to say you are working in an automation team
And
and yeah, yeah, please go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
Yeah, please go ahead.
And I test the execute set as the priority.
Hmm.
Yes,
Okay, okay. So priority task is given to you and you are executing that. Is that what you mean?
yes,
Okay.
sir.
Hmm. Okay. So generally, how much automation work you do and how much manual work you do?
How much duration?
Yeah, yeah. So how much manual, how much automation do you do every day?
Uh, every day I write 5 to 6 test cases. It depends upon compatibility of the test cases.
Hmm.
That's it.
Okay, okay, fine. So can you tell me something about the automation framework that you are working on?
Automation framework.
What
Okay,
type of
sir.
framework it is?
Uh, in our organization, yes, sir. In our organization, by using TestNG framework, using
Hmm.
form classes. So every web page we create individual classes.
Hmm.
And I use at the rate find we declare the element in form classes. We can use at the rate find by method, and uh,
Mm-hmm. That's it. Selenium Java TestNG framework you have.
sorry, sir.
Which type
Can you
of
please
framework do you have?
TestNG framework?
TestNG framework. Okay, okay,
Yes.
right. So you have TestNG framework. Okay. Um, and is it a data-driven framework or it's a
Yes,
BDD
sir.
hybrid framework?
It's hybrid framework. I have knowledge of hybrid framework. Hybrid
Mm-hmm.
framework, it is the combination of data driven and method driven. Data driven, it's kind of Excel file, and method driven, it's kind of base test. We store all the reusable methods like actions class, select class, wave
Mm-hmm.
driver interface. That's all
Okay,
about
okay, fine. So you use data-driven. So you might be using Apache POI.
Apache PL.
Okay, okay, fine. So you are using Apache POI. So what is Apache POI?
Sorry, sir.
What is Apache POI? Am I audible? Yeah. Am I
Yes,
audible?
sir. Yes, sir. I'm not
Okay.
use Apache POI.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working with TestNG framework by using form classes.
Okay. Okay. So where do you read data from?
Sorry.
From where do you read the data? You might be having some data files like CSV, Excel, from XML, from where you would be reading the data.
Excel
Excel,
file
right?
I can use.
So how do you automate Excel file? How do you read data from Excel file?
With the help of Apache PY.
Right, with the help of Apache POI, right? Okay, fine. Now, let me share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
So I'm using Apache POI, right? And I'm trying to read some values from the Excel file, right? And I'm getting this kind of exception, right? You are able to see my screen, right? That class
Yes,
not found exception. So how can we resolve this exception? Have you faced this kind of exception before?
Mm, no, sir. Actually, I found a null pointer exception.
Null pointer, yeah, that exception most of us do get. But when does this exception occur?
Actually,
Would
a
you like to
state
go? Yeah.
or a row cell is incorrect, then
Ah,
I get null pointer exception.
okay. But this kind of exception you haven't faced.
Load class.
Do you want me to
Yes,
help
sir.
you out? Yeah. See,
Yeah,
see,
yes,
as
sir.
you can see, this is common collections error, right? So if you will add this just dependency once again, you can check in the, so whenever you get errors, in automation, what you have to do is you have to check the dependencies, you have to check the versions, you have to check those libraries if you have, right? Use them as a dependency. That this particular, you just add this dependency and build the project again, then this kind of errors will go away, right? Sometimes it does comes when you are using Excel data driven framework. Okay. Now I'll tell you one more code over here. Okay, this is the another question. This does not has any connection with the previous question. Okay, what I am trying to do over here, this is a new file, right? And I am trying
Yes, sir.
to, yeah. So this is the code, right? But I am getting exception from this code, right? So this kind of exception I'm getting when I'm trying to read the data from this file, file1.xlsx. Okay, should I move this up? Okay, now is it fine? Is this visible? Both the things?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So this exception is coming to me whenever I am trying to, you know, uh, so what can be the problem behind this error? What can be the reason of this error?
File input stream workbook WP file input stream FIS equal to new file path of the Excel sheet workbook. File.
Do you want me to help you out?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'll tell you why this exception is coming. New file 1. Okay. So there is a dependency, commons collections that you should add in your class path. Once you add that in the class path, again, it is uh, whenever you are trying to retrieve data from an Excel sheet. So the code which we were seeing, so that will throw an error if you don't add the common collections into your the class path, right? So you are aware about class path?
Sorry, sir.
You are aware about class path?
Flash path. No, sir.
No? Okay, fine. Okay, so you were telling something about null pointer exception. So what is null pointer exception?
Null pointer exception.
Hmm.
Suppose set row cell is incorrect, then it gets a null pointer exception.
Hmm.
And also the wave element is not initialized,
Hmm.
then it should it get null pointer exception also. And
That's it. So how will you resolve such kind of null pointer exceptions?
correct the set cell and row,
Mm-hmm.
all things.
Okay, yeah, that is the one thing. Then what else?
No, sir.
Okay, no worries. So I think that is one of the good option. That's how you will do. Now, you were telling what is class path. You're not aware, right? So class path is nothing but it's a parameter, right? That specifies the location of user defined classes and packages. And this can be set either on the command line, or you would have seen it in the environment variables. So when you go to the system, right, environment variable, so you can set that class path. Okay, it
Path
is
of the
there.
file.
Yeah, no, it's not path of the file, right? So class path is nothing but it's actually one of the environment variable, right? So when you go to the system properties, right, you go into advanced tab and then you click on environment variables. So in the environment variables, class path is one of the um, variable over there, right?
Yeah.
Which actually you can set and you can define the class path, right? Um, you can use class path for what I can say is um, okay, let me explain it to you. Let me take a screenshot. Okay, now are you able to see my screen?
No, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
now it's visible. See, in the
Yes.
system properties, you can set one new system variable class path and you can mention the Java path over there, right? If the class path already exists in the system variables, then you can just put so ignore this MySQL connector, right? But you can just put this Java path in the class path, right? So it's one of the system variable basically,
Yes.
right? In the environment variables, you will get this idea. Okay, so that is class path. Okay, how will you group test cases in TestNG?
Group test cases and test engine.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I can use sorry, sir. I can use
No worries.
at a time multiple test cases execution. Then
Mm-hmm.
I can use invocation.
Mm.
Can use invocation. Then we can execute multiple test cases
Hmm.
and set the priority.
Yeah, but how will you group them? How will you put them in group?
Depends on, I can use depends on group method.
Hmm. What is group method?
The test cases or test classes execute as a group by,
Hmm.
that is fine.
No, no, that's not there. Okay, let me show it to you. Uh, what is grouping in TestNG? Okay. Now, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. See, groups in TestNG are specified in the testng.xml. So you would have seen testng.xml in your framework, right? Under the suite, or you can also put them under the test tag. So groups under the suite tag apply to all the tests included under the test tag. So in order to group, let's say you have multiple modules. You have one payment module. You have one search module, search related test cases. So you can group them in different groups, right? Group 1 and group 2, right? And again, in those groups, you will keep various methods. So let me show you one screenshot also, so you will get the clarity. See, so what screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
So what they have done is, see, in public class test 1, they have two groups, basically group 1 and group 2. Now when you call
Okay.
uh, group 2, method 2 will be called, right? So these groups would be invoked in the testng.xml itself, right? You can put name equal to group 1, name equal to group 2, right? You can just put n
We
number of
can
groups
also
that you.
use a smoke and regression.
Yeah, perfect, perfect. That also can be used. So grouping of test cases is one of the feature in TestNG itself, right? Is this clear now?
Yes, sir.
So this is how you can answer in an interview. Okay.
I'm little nervous.
Sorry?
So that I'm little nervous so that.
Okay. See, this is a mock interview. You don't have to get nervous at all, right? Because
Okay.
once you will get nervous, then what would happen? The things which you know, for the things which you are familiar with, those also would get, you won't be able to recall, right? Even the
Yes.
interviewer will get nervous,
Yes.
right? So don't get nervous at all. Hmm. Okay, so can you tell us something about your sprint activities? What do you do in a sprint?
Sprint.
Hmm.
Sprint. Suppose its duration is for 2 weeks,
Hmm.
14 days. Then I'll complete my work in 14 days, within 14 days.
Hmm.
Yeah, 10 days.
Every time you complete your work in 14 days.
Yeah.
Okay. So see, when someone asks you about sprint activities, so what you will tell? You have to tell how the user story is being created. So who creates the user story? So maybe it's a requirement from client or stakeholder, right? They will ask project management managers or business analysts to create the stories. Then those user stories will be groomed, means the analysis of those user stories would be done. So you will be a part of that grooming session. You would be shown what will be the acceptance criteria of this story, what they are going to implement. Then you will, maybe someone will write test cases from manual team, or if you are doing manual plus automation both, then you will write test cases. Then you will get them reviewed. After getting them reviewed, you will test it manually first, or someone from the manual team will test it manually. After testing it manually, you will start creating the code for that. You will do development. So Java or Python language, whichever you use for automation. that you will use. Then you will get it reviewed. Code review will happen. Then you will push the code. You will commit the code, right? Then you will run it end to end. You will generate the reports. You will share with everyone. So these are all the sprint activities, right? So again, sometimes sprint backlog meetings are there. Sometimes when you run the automation, you can also tell that you got a defect. So you will log that defect. So these are all your sprint activities. So in sprint activities, you can also tell about the different scrum ceremonies that you are part of. Sync up, stand up calls, grooming sessions, then sprint planning, sprint backlog.
Retrospect meetings.
Sorry.
Retrospect meetings.
Yes, retrospect meetings, right? So you have to tell each and everything. You have to tell in detail. So the interviewer will come to know, yes, she's following agile methodology. She's having good idea. Just telling that your work is getting completed in 14 days, you are, you know, that won't be sufficient. You will have to add more and more details to your answer,
Okay, sir.
right? Okay.
Okay, sir.
Hmm. Okay. Now, do you know about cucumber?
No, sir.
No. So 5 questions got deducted from your mock interview. I'm just kidding. So even in a real time interview, if you don't know about cucumber, so you can request the interviewer, sir, you can ask me the questions. I can try to give answer. If you feel 1 or 2 questions also you are not able to answer, then you can tell, sir, can we ask some other topic, right? Straightforward, no. It also depends. Sometimes if the interviewer is very, difficult to understand, then you can ask him, okay, yeah, pass these questions, because otherwise you will be feeling embarrassing. Oh, I don't know this question. I have only requested him to ask, right? So it depends on what kind of situation you are in. So accordingly, if you feel the interviewer is helpful, then you can tell, yes, sir, you can ask questions. Let me try. Sometimes you never know that trying also might get you a job, right?
Okay.
Okay. Now, what is tail element reference exception?
L element.
Reference exception.
I don't know, sir.
Okay. Okay. So, uh, you haven't received any times tail element reference exception in automation?
No, sir.
Okay. What is no such element exception?
No such element exception.
Hmm.
Uh, Suppose we look at the element in within the duration, but element is not found, then it gets no such element exception
Hmm. Hmm.
that time.
Hmm.
And uh, also uh, we can use find element that time also.
Find element. Okay. See, no such element exception is coming when you or your automation script is trying to access an element that is not available itself, right? So it is
Within
thrown by find
duration.
element. Yeah. So duration is yeah, that is there. So it will try to find, but it won't be available. So it will give you no such element exception, right? Now, stale element reference exception is a runtime error that occurs when the state of an object has changed, right? So maybe the page has been updated, or the structure of the document gets changed. So then stale element reference exception is coming. Okay. Okay, now let's take a string of testing, right? Now you have to write a program to count the duplicate characters in this string testing, right? So you have to write Java program for that. Okay, I'm giving you screen sharing rights. You can share your screen and you can write this
Duplicate.
program. Duplicate characters in the string.
Duplicate character.
Hmm. So the string is testing and you have to find duplicate characters from this string.
Certificate.
You want
I
to give a
forget
try?
everything. I forget everything.
Okay, okay, fine. So, Sukanti, how do you keep yourself updated? let's say if any new thing has come up in the market, so what will you do to make sure that you get the knowledge about it, or you are aware at least about that new tool or technology? Hello, Sukanti, am I audible?
Hello.
Yeah, Sukanti, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. So how do you keep yourself updated?
Good.
So what do you do on Saturdays and Sundays, or during your free time? Let's say if any new tool or technology has come up in the market, you might would have read about it.
Some API testing, learning
API.
sometimes.
Okay, okay.
API
But
testing.
what about the new
Yeah.
tool or technology that has come up in the market? How do you learn that tools, or how do you make yourself at least that you are aware of what has been done? Okay, okay, fine. Okay, Sukanti, I'm done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much and wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.